FL team from Misfits playing in the French League. Of course, he's come in from 1907 Fenerbahce, and he's in this matchup that Voxshop you've already talked about. Kindred into LEC. What should we be keeping our eyes on in terms of this? Like, would you prefer to see Caedral trying to challenge, trying to invade, trying to pick those fights? And if so, you know, what are some of the answers, or where can they do it?
It's really tough for Kindred to just run in 1v1 against LEC. Already mentioned, you don't outduel him early. The pressure attack helps a little bit, but with this electrocute from Caedral, not the Conqueror, that's all about that burst. Really good versus squishies and much better in that early game and in this specific matchup. For me, Kirei wants to look towards sOAZ and how he can use this Jayce pick into the Rumble, where early game, Jayce can harass that Rumble pretty well, and Rumble doesn't have really any reliable escape from a gank. So if Kirei can get that going, perhaps if he can like set the mark going on Expect and get that early 3-4 stack where you then become a lot stronger with that increased attack range, Kirei will have a much easier time against the CC matchup.
All right, well, let's track then the first decision making. kaSing is already going to sweep away that first ward in the river, start stepping forward, and instantly Misfits are backing away. They're going to have another ward that will just get spotted and killed towards the tail end.
Boy.
This is a 3v3. I mean, do you want to pick this fight? Misfits say yes. They're going to step forward and challenge.
All about the smite.
Another ward comes down. Smite fight is on. I'm watching Kirei and Caedral. Caedral's going very low. Resonating strike comes in. Red buff was picked up by Kirei. That's the substitute for Misfits. Flash forward. Red buff applied. Dance of Arrows is available for Kirei in just a moment. Caedral goes down to Misfits sub Kirei.
Not only does Caedral die here, but he had a mark on him. Kirei now gets the first stack of the game, and that is so disastrous for Caedral right here. He's going to lose that invade. He's now going to lose his blue buff as well. And in a matchup where Kirei just wanted to kind of be careful, now suddenly he's in the driver's seat.
Oh man, the passive mark as well as First Blood into this matchup that you've already talked about. It feels really good when we talk about the substitute players. We discuss the champions, and literally the first few decisions come down. He won the smite fight, and he got the follow-up kill. And I noticed that Kirei made his next mark, Hjarnan Xayah. I was secretly hoping he was going to go down to the bottom lane, but he wants to give his bot laners just a little bit of extra time. And this is obviously from the perspective of Kirei.
And it all comes down to the smite right here. This is what's going to make or break this play for ExceL or for Misfits. Kirei gets that smite, and in this situation, if you have that, you now have the advantage because you've got someone who's level 2, you've got the red buff to run someone down. It's just everything that could have possibly gone right for Misfits happened, and everything that could have possibly gone wrong for ExceL. Oh man, it's, you hate to see it.
Well, there you go, 800 gold advantage already. For anybody that doesn't know Kirei, he actually won TCL Winter from the Turkish League with 1907 Fenerbahce, went to MSI, made it all the way to the tiebreaker with Fongbu Buffalo, and as I'm talking about that, Expect is going to force the flash from sOAZ. Does he go for the dive? Scrap Shield not going to chase just yet, didn't have the cooldowns, and in the 1v1 at level 3, Expect wins that out.
Yeah, Rumble has a lot of damage actually, and expects Rumble as well. It seems like he gets a damage buff whenever he's playing that champion. He's played it a lot, and honestly, he carries pretty hard on it, and he's able to get sOAZ's flash. And now this gives a window for Caedral here, who's had a terrible start, to get back into it. Maybe go for a gank, but Kirei's going to spawn him out. No flash.
Oh my word! Lamb and Wolf are chasing down. The bite, the dodge, the arrows send Caedral to the fountain.
Oh man, it's just painful, Trevor. I just don't like watching this. It's just horrible.
Well, as a solo queue expert here, Foxtrot,
oh god,
put yourself in Caedral's shoes. Hold that thought. I think he's going to get chomped on and takes a lot of damage as Wolf goes all the way forward. I mean, what does Caedral do in a matchup that he was favored before conceding all these buffs and kills?
Well, you asked me to put myself in his shoes. First thing I would do is change my shoes because my socks are very soggy from all the tears that have been streaming down my face and leaking onto them. The thing with Lee Sin, or I guess any champion, if you fall behind, you've got to look to yourself and say, okay, I'm not going to be able to force these plays and be that direct impact. The way that I influence this game now is through assisting and supporting and enabling my team. And Lee Sin is actually not too bad at doing that. It's one of the reasons why he's pretty much always meta in professional play, because you can still protect your carries, you can peel for them, you can play make and stuff like that, and Caedral does not need items to make that happen. He does, however, need to be careful that Kirei doesn't just perma-invade him and put him so far behind that he becomes absolutely useless.
Well, that previous invade, looking at the minimap, you can actually see a number of wards. I actually missed the Krugs ward personally. A small mistake on my part is Caedral fully spotted out. Kirei was hunting him.
Yeah, and it's, at this point, it's just like there's not too much you can do. You know, he's low on health. He doesn't have his flash still. He's been punished for that again. There were actually 2 wards in ExceL's jungle there. One of the red buff and one of the frogs. Like, Misfits know. They know that they have the lead here, and they know that they want to be able to push that. And Kirei, so far, showing no nerves on his first LEC debut game.
No, absolutely not. And of course, you know, this is the first game on this stage, but it's definitely not the biggest stage that he has played on. Has a lot of experience. Now, we've obviously focused on Kirei and the junglers because that's where a lot of the game has happened. Down in the bottom lane, Hansama and Gorilla have a cumulative 3,200 gold. Hjarnan and kaSing are sitting on 2,900. So these dual support items and early game farm advantage is currently favoring Misfits, but they're still scaling out this Sona plus X support. Always need some levels to really get powerful. And now Mickey's going to get jumped on. Realm Warp may just get him out to safety, and it does. And that was just an exchange of ultimates.
And no summoners blown there, but Mickey now is a little bit low and doesn't have his CB.
Oh, a lot of damage being traded back and forth at level 4. Small advantage here for Hjarnan and kaSing, but it's very important to keep in mind, we have to track gold because the CS doesn't quite matter in those 2v2s.
Right, it's kind of confusing because to begin with, Tahm Kench or the melee support will take all the CS with the Targons, and then when it starts going up a little bit later into the game, Sona will start taking that CS. So it is a little bit deceptive when you look at those kind of farm totals there, but still, all in all, as you mentioned, the gold, a little bit of an advantage here to the Xayah Rakan, as is to be expected of the Lovers duo.
Yeah, definitely the case. And of course, we just caught a glimpse there of sOAZ and expect they're even on CS. Febiven and Mickey thus far trading evenly. And Caedral is now going to try to play some League of Legends. Puts a Sonic Wave onto the chicken camp. And we'll spot out Kirei. There's no movement from his laners yet. As I say that, Mickey started stepping towards the river, but there was backup. You can see kaSing waiting in the wings. And ExceL, this is going to sound weird this early, but they've stabilized, you know. Kirei was running amok in the jungle, but now his next mark is on the Grump camp, if you look at the minimap. And he's currently targeted Caedral, so we'll keep tracking Kirei as he can continue to build up those passive stacks, because Kindred becomes a monster if she's able to continuously farm them.
Right, and we mentioned how she had the perfect start by getting that 1 stack. That is the only stack she has this game, so she definitely has slowed down. Misfits going in for this invade here, but ExceL don't want to give it away for free. No, they don't. Blue buff is secured by Misfits. Mickey's got no Realm Warp. It's a TP though from Flash Rumble. Is available to him. Expect's got the Equalizer. sOAZ TP is on cooldown. Insta Equalizer, but Expect is in trouble. He's forced to flash defensively in a 5-on-4 and a TP committed. ExceL get nothing. So, you know, a bit of miscommunication there from ExceL. That was a really good TP flank from Expect. A great place to lay down that red carpet too. But ExceL just weren't in position. But if you look at the levels from ExceL, all of the key kind of triggers for these teams, the people who can pull that trigger to go for the engage, you know, the Lee Sin kick, the Rakan ultimate, they're level 4 and level 5 respectively at that time. You can't follow up on that one, and they're just they aren't able to get anything out of it. That is flash and TP from Expect. Yeah, didn't have the abilities to stick, and I noticed Gorilla's exhaust as well. Very, very impactful in reducing that damage. I think Grump was secured by ExceL, so Kirei's waiting for his next mark, and he's going to invade, sitting inside the Brambleback. While that is going on, I think a very smart play from ExceL here. They are going to secure the first dragon of the game. It's an Infernal at 9 minutes, and it'll be at the cost of their red buff up top. Yeah, Kirei is very tunneled in on putting Caedral behind. Caedral's recognized this. He knows he's got a target on his back, and why not use this time to go for that dragon? I think they'll be happy with that one. Fire dragon for the fire bar. Oh, very good flash there from Hansama. But it is blown, which means juicy targets for a repeat engage on the side of kaSing. Kirei was looking for a cheeky dive in this top side as well, but it was sniffed out from Expect. And Kirei is still sitting on that first mark, as I mentioned before, and he really wants to hit that number 4. That's the sweet spot. When you get that, you get increased attack range, which makes it a lot easier for you to play team fights when you're transitioning into this mid game. It's really important if you can pick that one up. Looks like he is. There we go. Going to pick up his second stack of the game. Still 2 more to go before he reaches magic number. All right, let's see how quickly he can get them. Currently 60 CS to 42, still 2 kills secured. And ExceL, they are falling a lot further behind in gold. 2 and a bit thousand, nearly 3,000 gold in favor of Misfits at 10 minutes. And the advantage they have is that Infernal Drake, and they still have to be very careful. I mean, Kirei, he got
really steamrolled ahead, but hasn't been able to find any other opportunities. I don't think this is a problem inherently, because it is a lot more risky to keep finding those opportunities. For now, they're just starting off the Herald, but kaSing is waiting in the wings.
And ExceL are at that point where they kind of want to accept that they're not going to have the agency, they're not going to be able to really contest too much, and if they do, that's a very easy way to throw the game, because you start losing people, not just objectives. But at the same time, you've got to find that balance, and ExceL at some point, as this game develops, they're going to have to start asking themselves, okay, so at what point do we want to contest these objectives? Normally that happens around the 20-minute mark with the Baron Nashor when that starts spawning. But at this point, ExceL are happy to give up the Rift Herald. I
mean, it's super scary, because if you wait another 9 minutes against a team that already has such fantastic scaling in the Kindred, the Azir, we know the team fight power that Sona is going to bring, it may be too big of a challenge to overcome.
It's going to be really difficult, and we saw in this feature before the game came in, Caedral he said, I don't want to be 9th place, I'm not happy. And he actually said to me when I saw him earlier today, I will hold this thought because he's coming in for his first gank of the game.
Well, let's see what Caedral can do. He's going to be helped out by Expect, whose equalizer's just become available once the overheat goes down. sOAZ will get taken out. The teleport is completed from Mickey, probably not worth.
I don't think that was fully necessary, but perhaps that was an anticipatory TP, just in case someone was trying to match that and collapse as well. But he is going to lose a few turret plates here. But still, this is it. ExceL's first kill of the game does get donated over to Caedral as well.
Oh, that's a good flash from Mickey. I was waiting for the Emperor's Divide to come out. Mickey with the fast feet. Rift Herald was summoned. Foxdrop with the boop. Takes down the tower. First blood gold bonus secured, as well as the Azir passive put down. The pressure isn't alleviated just yet, waiting for one more Rift Herald push. But of course, all that pressure mid means Expect get some time in the bottom lane.
And it looks like they might look for a top lane thing here. I think that Gorilla and Hans Summer were thinking about teleporting behind Hjarnan there to catch him, but decided against it as the rest of ExceL was moving up there. Now, Caedral is also on the top side of this map. He's run straight across the crows. He's not looking to do those because he knows this is an opportunity here for this play. See if they can make it happen. kaSing obviously flash and ulti.
All right, Gorilla's got flash available to him. Hans Summer, no flash. Momentary stutter as the quickness is used. Gorilla's exhaust was timed. Now the Devour gets thrown down. And that's a very, very easy, controlled escape. I was ramping up expecting a huge fight, and just nothing happened.
That is a difficulty whenever you're trying to do something against Tahm Kench. Like, you can't do something to the person he's standing next to, because he just gets gobbled up.
Oh, Mickey's just getting eaten alive. Caught in a mousetrap, and Misfits 3 kills to 1.
No Tahm Kench to gobble him up. Just 3 very, very evil-looking Misfits people.
Oh, man, it's so frustrating. The jungle of ExceL has not belonged to them, because Kirei, after his first kill, has been invading, has had a lot of support, and the man that's feeling the pressure the most is Caedral. You know, this is the guy that came in, unfortunately conceded first blood, and he's one of the leaders of the ExceL squad. And last week, you know, Caedral stepped up to the plate and did the best that he could to get ExceL 2 very competitive games. But this one seems like it's running away from them.
And Kirei here knows that Expect. Just the game sense to know that that is where someone's going to be at that time. Like, no vision, nothing like that. Just knowing this is going to be the movement of the enemy team. It's one of the reasons why Kirei is such a dominant solo queue player. He went over to Korea and he did really well over there. When I talk to other challenger junglers, one of the people they tell me to kind of look towards, they're constantly referencing, is Kirei, because the amount of communication he does. He always knows when everything is happening, and he's very good at telling his team the exact same thing. That was an opportunity there to catch out Expect. Expect sniffed it out, but still, it is the sign of a good jungler, and more importantly, the sign of a confident jungler. Exactly what Misfits want out of their rookie.
What do you think of his itemization? Sitting on those free-ass boots, got himself Warrior Enchant and Phantom Dancer before 15 minutes.
I think that it's a pretty hefty item build to have. Oh, please, he's flashed in.
Wow, that's really bold. Realm Walk will get interrupted. That's the slide and glide. Febiven sets it up for Kirei to get his 4th and 5th. That's a double kill for Kindred. It may not be over as Gorilla's on the hunt, but he can't find another target.
I was talking about confidence. How's that for a confident play? Flashing in, engaging as Kindred. I don't. That was not a phrase I thought I'd say in my life, but he did it.
It isn't over yet. Safeguard to safety. Kirei says not today. Sending in the mounting dread. Caedral's being burned alive, but he isn't going to get killed yet. Teleport completed by Expect. Equalizer's up and available, but so is Lamb's Respite. There's the Devour. Never say die. Misfits just get out, and they get another teleport.
There's a lot of tools on the side of Misfits there to defy death. And it seems as though ExceL, when they want to make a play, when they're looking to make it happen, the door just closes, and Misfits are playing this game really, really well. And a lot of that, I mean, I can say it's coming off the back of Kirei. I mean, look at that scoreboard.
I think that is true superior analyst analysis.
You know what, mate? There's more kills on Misfits sides than ExceL sides. That might be why they wouldn't.
Do you know, what have we done without you? You know?
I don't know.
5-0 Kirei, by the way. During the ready check segment, there was that question. If X improves, then team will perform, and Summer was the man. He's playing Sona right now, and Kirei is just leading Misfits to an obliteration of ExceL.
Well, this is it, right? Kirei comes in and replaces Maxor. Maxor was picked up. He really grinded for his reputation as a top jungler in the LEC or ELCS as it was back then, playing through teams like Giants. And he was a really, really strong jungler. He was a very proactive jungler. And when they had that Worlds run in 2017, he was a big reason why. But it seems like right now, what this team needs is someone like Kirei who's been able to play aggressively.
He's in the pit.
He's gotta get it.
He steals it.
Yeah.
He steals it over the wall. ExceL can't do a thing. Kirei and the rest of the squad are moving forward. Conquering and sliding sands. Crescendo tags one. Caedral's already gone. The sand soldiers sent flying as Hjarnan goes up, spits the feathers backwards. Will not be able to root up anybody else. 6 kills to 1. Febi, the only person not named Kirei to have a kill for Misfits.
This is the problem we saw in this feature. ExceL, Caedral says. He didn't like being 9th. He didn't want it. The mental toll it has on a team to know that you suck is honestly, it's incredible. And they have a chance to reset. You come into that summer split, and ExceL being very vocal about the fact that they are not happy with being a 9th place team. And I was talking to Caedral backstage as well, and he said, book it, 2-0 week. If it's not 2-0, then you, well, I
there's
won't...
problems. Then there's problems. I
won't do the precise phrase what you said, but still. This is not how you start your 2-0 week.
Well, for Misfits, this probably is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You know, for Misfits, of course, coming into this matchup, especially after the spring performance, I had questions around what would they look like for the split? How could they evolve? How serious was the 10-man roster? And I now have more questions, actually, but it is exciting to see such a strong start here from Kirei. The Lamb's Respite is used defensively. ExceL throw everything at Misfits. It literally doesn't scratch them. The tower is still being sieged, and it's a 9,000 gold deficit. Crescendo is going to be up in a moment or two. The Emperor's Divide is up, and Misfits just continue the siege. This is just fantastic pressure play through an advantageous position.
And the thing is now that there is absolutely zero pressure on Misfits to make a mistake in this situation, because the only way that is going to happen is if ExceL can capitalize with their engage. And there's no flash on Caedral, so he can't do it. There's no ulti on Expect, so he can't do it. There's no ulti on kaSing, so he can't do it either. So Misfits really just have to completely lay the land here, just go around the entire map and take everything that they want to do and wait for that Baron to spawn in about a minute.
And I think it's also important to note that when you have teams that theoretically are meant to be top of the table, playing teams that are theoretically meant to be bottom of the table, this is kind of how you expect the games to look. And if you just look at names and players on paper, this was the Misfits that was expected to show up in spring, and it did for a little while, albeit it was mostly through Summer's play and not through the type of carry jungle performance we're seeing now. But it does give a lot of hope to Misfits fans and supporters. And on the side of ExceL, they're going to have some troubles. 2-level advantage here for Mickey, but he's going to escape with Realm Up. The burn is ticking. The burn gets it. The burn gets it. I believe that was stack number 4 on Kirei.
That is spicy. You are correct. Stack number 4 here, so he has that increased attack range. Just when he thought he wasn't scary enough. Now he's reached that, and Oh my lord, he's sitting on a 600 gold bounty. I mean, if you want to get back into the game, you've got to take him down, but...
Multiple times, my friend.
Easier said than done. Way easier said than done.
I mean, if you take a look at just the item disparity, right? sOAZ, 0, 1, and 2 on KDA. He's got Black Cleave and Hex Drinker. Coming up against a Haunting Guise and a Seeker's Arm Guard. That's it.
Yeah.
2 full items for Febby. Banshees and Nash's Tooth into just an Archangel Stop. Hasn't even procced yet to Seraphs. For Mickey, 10,000 gold, 5 towers to 0, 7 kills to 1. Misfits showing up to start off week 2.
Yeah, at this point, Misfits, what they want to do, it all revolves around this Baron play. You want to make sure this bot lane especially is getting a favorable push, so that it puts a little bit of pressure on ExceL to kind of catch these waves before you then look for the Baron play. Misfits are sitting on a decent amount of gold though, both from sOAZ and Kirei. 1.5 and almost 2k gold respectively, so if they just decide to go for that reset, I think that would then make their Baron play a lot stronger. But when you're this far ahead, does it even really matter? I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't. You can see sOAZ, he's flirting between bottom and middle lane. There's a control ward placed. Oh, that's the engage onto 1! The kick back! That's the shutdown goal onto Kirei! Caedral does it! The opportune moment! 2 quick kills to ExceL!
What did I say? If you want to get back into this game, Lee Sin, the playmaking potential. Kirei, he's been the hero of this entire story for Misfits, and he just throws it all away with 1 move.
All right, Febiven, Hunt summons sOAZ in a 3v5. That's the engage onto Febby. He's forced to flash defensively, goes backwards, sends out the Sand Soldiers. That makes it a 3v4. Hunt Summer with the power chord. Sends Expect to the fountain. The gigantic gold lead means even in a 3v5, Misfits can do it. Empress Divide's on cooldown, remember, but now it's sOAZ Hjarnan's ulti. That's the hammer form. Put it down on Hjarnan. He's dashed backwards. Realm Warp defensively. A double shock. And 1 more power chord. 3v5. Misfits ExceL.
ExceL, they had a sniff of victory right there. They were about to poise tape for that dragon, but Misfits, like you say, 3v5. They turn it around there, and Kirei now he's back. He's going to be able to secure this one. No harm, no foul.
Itemization advantage makes up such a difference. All 5 members of Misfits are alive. They secure themselves the Baron, and they've got all the tools they need to finish the game.
Yeah, and Kirei sits a little bit too far forward here. Very easy to get complacent when you have such a lead. But this kick that followed up with Caedral, the 3-man kick, not only does it send Kirei to his death, but because it CCs his teammates, they then can't help him out either. And in this situation here, deciding to turn away from Baron and go for the fight is the correct call from ExceL, but the problem is that they've already used a lot of their resources to find those first 2 picks. So when you're already at a deficit and you don't have your ultis up, it's really hard to win these fights. kaSing here, he's caught in a runaway mode, but maybe if he turned on sOAZ, they actually could have turned and burned him. But either way, 2 for 1 there, getting the real bang for your buck. Misfits taking out the Baron on the other side of that as well. 10k gold lead.
I really, really wish both Xayah and Rakan had gone down with a shock blast, because it could have been 2 birds with 1 blast. But wasn't the duo. Wasn't the duo. We'll have to look for it another time, you know.
Well, good luck. You're going to be stood on that for a while, mate.
One can dream. One can dream.
Your hair will be naturally grey at that point.
Oh no, it's coming sooner. It's coming sooner than you might think, Foxdrop.
You and me both, buddy.
Not all of us have those luscious locks. But look, 23 minutes and it's 14k up. Baron plus themselves another Drake plus all of the item advantages. Misfits are starting to chip away both middle and bottom. And ExceL, it's so frustrating because from literally minute 1, Kirei's Kindred was running away with the game. sOAZ gets jumped on, he uses the hammer blast, gets kicked backwards, stays alive a few seconds, Gorilla comes in with a devour, that keeps sOAZ alive. The never say die sOAZ manages to get away from the feathers as well. The root comes out, Lavender Spike needs to go down, and it does. Now kaSing running for his life. ExceL are trying their darndest, but it simply isn't enough.
ExceL had the right idea. They're attacking this 1-4 by picking on the person by himself, which is sOAZ, but they're just too far behind. Misfits are a bit too far ahead, and once you pull that trigger, they have nothing left. Even though this is still a 5v5, ExceL can't do anything about their whole base being destroyed. Misfits are pushing for the win.
They absolutely are. Crescendo's available for Hunt Summer. If ExceL overstay their limits, they will get stunned and then killed. Nexus turret number 1 falls. Nexus turret number 2 falls. ExceL, what do you have left? They're not looking for the fight yet. Emperor's Divide, that catches out Caedral. Killing spree for Hansama. Some looking for the kill, some looking for the Nexus. Mickey goes down 0-5-2 for his LEC debut. And Misfits take down ExceL.